Will you be traveling to the States anytime soon?
Not ever. I wouldn't go over the border again.
Canada's our neighbor, and you don't treat neighbors that way. And all of us are really upset about that.
That's what you hear now from folks across Canada. And it's no joke. They've stopped coming. The border's gone quiet. Towns that used to buzz with traffic are now still and lifeless. Gas stations closed, supermarkets shut down, warehouses sitting empty. And just like that, entire local economies are choking out. People are losing their paychecks. Small businesses are hanging by a thread. And it's making something very clear. We've become way too dependent on those cross-border dollars. Take a place like Blaine, Washington. No big factories, no tech scene. It thrived off weekend traffic from Canadian shoppers. They came for gas, medicine, groceries, packages, everything. And Blaine didn't need to build anything new. It just had to keep the doors open. But in 2025, the tone shifted. Before we continue, click subscribe below. We don't sugarcoat, we don't protect politicians, we expose what others won't. Trade tensions boiled over. New taxes hit Canadian goods. And some US politicians, just for attention, started throwing around ideas like turning Canada into the 51st state. Canadians didn't protest. They didn't shout. They just stopped showing up. A wave of Buy Canadian First spread like wildfire, fueled by TikTok, Instagram, and domestic retailers. By June, border crossings from British Columbia into Blaine dropped over 75%. In just months, 3 out of 5 gas stations shut down. 20-plus package pickup points vanished, and folks who made their living on weekend stopovers, gone. Meanwhile, Canadians doubled down, posting receipts from Canadian Tire and Save On Foods with the message, "We don't need America anymore." The ATM that used to spit out US dollars on the Blaine side still lights up, but nobody's using it. And the people of Blaine finally saw the truth. All it took was one quiet boycott to gut an entire town. What felt permanent wasn't. They thought a quick promotion or sale would bring Canadians back. But month after month, nothing changed. The border stayed empty. The illusion shattered. And Blaine isn't alone. Niagara Falls is dimming. A place once lit up with tourism now struggles to pay the bills. And that raises the question, if it can happen in these towns, how safe is your own? Once upon a time, towns like Sault Ste. Marie weren't tourist hotspots, they were habits. Canadians popped over daily, no passports, no fanfare. Just across the bridge for gas, medicine, a bite to eat, or to stock up on essentials. Locals used to joke, "We don't get tourists, we get international regulars." Not anymore. By March 2025, that flow collapsed. Vehicle traffic from Ontario dropped by over 57% in just 3 months. Why? No border shutdown, no protests. Canadians simply stopped coming. The red tape got annoying. Exchange rates turned sour. And suddenly, it was easier to shop in their own version of Sault Ste. Marie on the Canadian side. What happened next? Downtown shops started opening only a few days a week. Penny's Kitchen cut its staff. Family Fare stopped placing bulk orders. Meanwhile, just across the river, Canadian businesses thrived. Supermarkets lit up. Hiring signs went up. Stores expanded. The two towns, once in sync, split paths, and the US side was left gasping for air. Jobs disappeared. Housing listings surged. Families packed up. In Chippewa County, homes for sale spiked over 42% in just 60 days. Young people left first, headed to bigger cities like Grand Rapids or Lansing. Older folks, they're trying to hold on, waiting, hoping. But the regulars may not be coming back. Now shift east to Calais, Maine, right across from St. Stephen, New Brunswick. For years, Canadians treated Calais like their kitchen. They came for milk, batteries, medicine, gas, and lunch. In and out. No sightseeing, just routine. Then it stopped, fast. By spring 2025, border crossings over the Milltown and Ferry Point bridges dropped more than 64%. No bans, no headlines, just a quiet disappearance. Calais didn't fall all at once, it withered. The grocery store near the bridge cut hours. Family diners trimmed menus. The post office grew eerily quiet. Pharmacies stopped asking, "How much in Canadian?" Because no one was coming in to ask. Locals describe it like living in a kitchen stocked with nothing but instant noodles and salt. You can survive, but it doesn't feel like living. Older residents, used to seeing familiar faces from across the river, now feel isolated. Their neighbors just stopped coming. And the fear isn't just financial, it's emotional. It's the realization that this shift isn't temporary. Homes are being listed in the middle of summer. That's when people usually settle in, not flee. Meanwhile, St. Stephen is thriving without Calais. More shops, more services, more jobs. It's like watching a partnership break down in real time, but only one side is rebuilding. And if Calais is dying from distance, then Darby Line, Vermont, is suffering from the opposite. Too much closeness. Here, the border is literally a line on the street. You could sit in a library in the US while your feet rest in Canada. That's how intertwined this place was. Canadians didn't come for shopping sprees. They came for cold meds, cinnamon bread, kids' clothes, quiet, simple things that kept Darby Line afloat. But in early 2025, the foot traffic stopped. Vehicle crossings from Stansted to Darby Line dropped more than 66% in just 3 months. Why? No announcement, no drama. Canadians just stopped crossing. Prices were the same on both sides. Border delays got worse, so they stayed home. And Darby Line began to hollow out. Shops shortened hours. The pharmacy stopped ordering French language labels. Church pews sat half empty. Even the famous binational library, half in Canada, half in the US, now has shelves untouched. The books are still there. The people aren't. No buildings collapsed. But something more important did. The rhythm of life. And by the time people noticed, the goodbyes had already happened. Quietly, permanently. You ever see a place just vanish? Not from a storm, not from fire, just from being forgotten? That's what's happening now. Start with Messina, New York. Not a vacation hotspot, not some big name. But for Canadians from Cornwall, Ontario, it was the go-to weekend pit stop. Fill up the tank, hit Walmart or Target, swing by the Hearthaven Mall, then head home. It was simple, familiar, reliable, until one day, they stopped coming. No shouting, no border closures, just silence. Since early 2025, Canadian traffic across the Messina Bridge has dropped over 70%. Why? The exchange rate's worse. Prices aren't much different anymore. Border checks became a hassle, so Canadians said, why bother? And when they left, the cracks split wide open. The first to go? Not the mom and pop shops. Walmart left, Target shut down. The big names, the ones that made locals feel like they were part of something bigger, just pulled the plug. People still need groceries, still need clothes, medicine, supplies. But suddenly, there's nowhere to get them. If you've got a car, you drive 30 miles. If you don't, you're stuck. Seniors, single parents, part-time workers. They're the ones hurting most. The town isn't poor enough for federal help, but not rich enough to build anything new. And what stings most? There was no warning. One day, the stores were just gone. Now, let's talk about Port Angeles, Washington. It never had a major highway. It wasn't on the big circuit, but it had one thing. The Black Ball Ferry from Victoria, BC. Every day, Canadians rode over, not for big box stores, but to sip coffee on the boardwalk, browse shops, walk the waterfront. It was steady, predictable, human. Until 2025. Now, passenger numbers from Victoria have dropped over 64%. Ferry prices are up. Border rules are tighter. And Canadians can get the same stuff and better views without leaving Victoria, so they stay put. And Port Angeles, it's fading out. No, it didn't collapse. No, going out of business signs everywhere. But shops cut hours. Hotels stopped taking weekend bookings. Restaurants dropped menu items. People who used to clean rooms or sell souvenirs, now they're doing gig work or nothing at all. And the worst part? Port Angeles still looks beautiful. The ocean sparkles. The sunsets are stunning. But nobody's showing up. It's like a party no one RSVP'd to. The lights along the boardwalk still shine, but they're not welcoming anyone anymore. And finally, let's go to Pembina, North Dakota. This one hits different. Pembina was never a tourist town. Nobody came for the views, they came for parcels. Canadians, especially from Winnipeg, use Pembina as their pickup zone. Amazon, eBay, car parts, hardware. If it was cheaper in the US, it got shipped to Pembina. That was the entire economy. Then, boom. The Canadian dollar tanked. Customs rules got tighter. Deal groups told people, stop going to Pembina. It's not worth it anymore. Traffic through the crossing plunged over 72%. And just like that, the town died. FedEx and UPS slashed their hours. Amazon partners shut down. Private parcel depots, gone. Warehouses, cold and empty. Pembina had no plan B, no factories, no side hustle. When the Canadians stopped showing up, Pembina fell off the map, literally. The roads are still there, the signs still glow, but the heartbeat stopped. No one shut it down. It just stopped beating. And here's the most uncomfortable part. These aren't dying towns. They're already dead. And most people haven't even noticed. So, here's the question no one wants to ask. These places died waiting for Canadians to come back. When did America become the sidekick in its own economy?